confirmation of the bracket. This is the right side of the draw. So in the quarterfinals, we're going to see Morocco against Cameroon on January the 9th at 2 p.m. Eastern. For more, let's cross live to Morocco. Chat to Mimi Fawaz, who watched both games at the stadium for us. Mimi, great to see you. Let's start with South Africa against Cameroon. Pretty good performance from Cameroon, but South Africa, they didn't really turn up till late on, did they?
No, exactly, Adam. The first half really did look like it was a deadlock between both sides, and you were going to see which side was going to be able to break that deadlock. And it actually was Cameroon that ended up breaking that deadlock. South Africa in the last few minutes of the game, Magokpa getting a goal back after Cameroon had got 2 goals. Pafane, of course, getting that winner for Cameroon. But let me tell you, the best way I can explain this game is the way a driver here in Morocco said, in African football, you don't play, he said, necessarily, like the tactics, you play physically. Grinta, that's the word he said. And I think Cameroon came with the grinta, that aggression, that passion, that force, and that helped them to get that win against South Africa.
Mimi, less possession of the ball, less shots on target, but still deadly to be able to take the win and the victory. It's so important. But how good are Cameroon? To watch them in person is something different to what we're witnessing on our television screens. I can only imagine that they had a game plan that actually worked to perfection in this game.
Yeah, definitely. Cameroon were very good. What's really good about this Cameroon side is they're a very young side. Now, as I've mentioned before, just before coming into the competition, they changed coaches. David Pagu was appointed as a coach just a few weeks before the competition started. And you can see in the middle of the park, Carlos Baliba, the key, passing the goals in the midfield, helping to create those chances for Cameroon. And going forward, they were very attacking and also getting very tight in that defense to help them to get that win against a tough South African side towards the second half of this match.
Mimi, obviously we talked about them in the build-up to the tournament and some of the issues. It was quite chaotic, wasn't it? The preparations for AFCON for them, the disagreements between Samuel Eto'o and the coach and all of the other issues that were swirling around. Do you think they've done well, the players, to put all of those off-field things to one side?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, Samuel Eto'o, just a few minutes before you came to me, just passed and went into that room over there. So we'll keep an eye out to see if he comes up. Maybe we could get a few words for him. But yes, Samuel Eto'o, of course, changed the coach coming into this game, putting David Pagu, getting rid of Mark Brees. So Mark Brees claimed that he had a mandate until 2026, which was by the sports ministry and not Samuel Eto'o himself who had appointed him in that position. But after missing out on going to the World Cup, Samuel Eto'o decided to put David Pagu in the position, and he's really proving himself that he was the right decision by Samuel Eto'o to be put in that position, the right decision to bring lots of new players, lots of young players into this competition. And they're surprising so many people so far, really playing very well as a team together. And with that, great. And it's paid off. They're through to the quarterfinals now, where they'll be facing the home side, Morocco, on Friday.
Mimi, at any given time, if you see Samuel Eto'o, just let him know that Adam Ian want to have a quick word with him. So feel free to pull him at any time while we're live here. Let's talk about Morocco. You brought up the fixture that's something very exciting for all of us to look forward to. Morocco, once again, Mimi, not at their best. Brahim Diaz, very important goal to see them through. What did you recognise from the game, the overall performance, that maybe tells you that Cameroon have a real chance here?
Yeah, they absolutely do. Morocco don't seem to be looking at the very best in this competition. It was no walk in the park for them against Tanzania. Tanzania really held their own against Morocco. Morocco were finding it really hard to break down that Tanzanian side. But of course, that playmaker, Brahim Diaz, as we've seen, scoring 4 consecutive times at the Africa Cup of Nations finals. The first Moroccan to do that, did so again in this game. And of course, with Achraf Hakimi getting his first full start after that injury that he had that put him out, starting in the second half, coming in as a substitute in the previous game against Zambia, helped to get an assist and get Diaz to get that winner from Morocco. They had a few chances at Kabi as well, missed some chances. Saibari as well missed some chances. So Morocco are not able to really get that at the end of the ball and get that clinical finish as we saw in this game. They're going to have a very tough time getting to play Cameroon in the next stage in the quarterfinals.
Mimi, I remember you saying earlier on in the tournament that you felt that the Morocco fans weren't necessarily 100% believing in this team, that the performances in the first couple of games hadn't really filled them with confidence. What were the fans like inside the stadium today? Were they feeling a bit better about the way that the team are playing?
Yes, I mean, the Moroccan fans really supported Morocco. You could see them cheering for them as they played throughout the game. They, of course, were trying to put off the Tanzanian side. Whenever Tanzania had the ball, they were trying to jeer them so that to make sure to throw them off course. But you could really see that support this time around in this game, them getting really behind the Moroccan side, supporting them, cheering them on. Really, I think Morocco are really going to need their side moving forward in this competition. They're going to need the fans behind them because you can really see the effect that they make in the stadium. It was so loud at some point, I just couldn't hear myself thinking the way that the Moroccan fans are supporting their side.
You mentioned already this competition often has the habit of creating superstars. Already playing for Real Madrid, Brahim Diaz is a big name, but he has become an even bigger star for what he's done throughout this tournament. How important is he for Morocco's success? And what have you noticed about his game throughout this tournament as he's developed?
He's going to be very important for Morocco. He's that man that just keeps pushing, that gets in between the defenders, gets those clinical finishes. As I said, that's a part of the Moroccan game that I think sometimes missing. It's connecting at the end of the ball and getting very clinical. They wasted some chances in the game today. Brahim Diaz himself wasted a chance, but he's the man that's just going to keep trying and trying and trying until he gets that goal. He's so important, that playmaker, creating chances, scoring those goals. Morocco are going to be relying a lot on him. And as well, it's a big boost for them as well, getting Achraf Hakimi back fit again and helping them.
Mimi, great stuff as always. Thanks so much for joining us here on Scoreline. We'll let you get back to those post-match interviews. We'll speak to you soon.
Thank you very much, Adam. Thank you very much, Ian.